today, this live is going to be in English.
Thanks for taking the time to chat. It's 8:30 here and it's really cold. It's like a blizzard outside. It's a lot colder than last time I saw you in Cali in Colombia. I guess so. The ocean's always been in my family. My father spent a lot of time at sea in the 60s and 70s. My older brother and sister grew up on a boat. And my mum taught me how to swim in the sea when I was a kid. The sea where I'm from is very brown, generally quite cold, apart from 1 month of the year when you can go in it. It's not really full of life. In fact, it's quite empty of life. But I grew to really, really love it.
About your passions, how do you feel surfing and writing?
I've always found writing something that came quite naturally to me since I was little, and I've tried to use my writing to communicate how I feel about nature and about the marine environment, which is, I guess, it's probably a more common view than when I started sort of feeling it and started writing a lot about it. I get to experience the ocean, I get to write about it, and I get to work on it, and I feel very lucky to have those things joined up. That's not to say that it's easy, because these topics that we're working on are big and complicated and very challenging. So Blue Marine Foundation was set up about one of its central ambitions is to help to support Target 3 of the Global Biodiversity Framework, which when we were set up didn't exist. It was signed into life in 2022, and it really, 196 countries have now subscribed to this target of reaching 30% effective protection by 2030. And the word effective is super important because, it's easy to draw a line on a map and for that to be considered a marine protected area. We've got 18,200 marine protected areas, and only about a third of them are actually implemented, which means that they're actually working and doing things. And so I think there's like a really good way to do this. We issued something a while ago with a bunch of others called the MPA Guide, which is it's quite technical, but it's a good document.
What are the techniques to fight unsustainable fishing?
It's a really good question. I mean, so the way in which the ocean is governed and managed is incredibly complicated. It's really opaque in that lots of people don't really understand anything about how it's managed and run. It's often left to strange institutions who, are very powerful in their own right, but don't really have any oversight or transparency. People can't really see what they do and how they do it.
What motivates you to keep working in this field and with such big and challenging troubles?
I think two things really. Like, firstly, the life itself. Like, I spend most of my life in front of a computer, sadly, but now and again I'm fortunate enough to visit, amazing places and see incredible things. But also it's the people, like, as you say, marine conservation has an amazing group of people from all over the world, brilliant people working, largely invisibly to the outside world, but brilliant people. It's those people who keep you, balanced. And I mean, I'm quite a big fan of krill, which is the basis of the food chain in Antarctica. And I see Antarctica as sort of the basis of climate stability and also sort of like a petri dish of how we as the world treat the marine environment. And so krill has come to represent something really important to me. Like, if we can't get that part right, then, what can we do? So I feel really happy when I think of krill. I love the fact that there's, we still aren't taking a huge number of them. I wish we were taking less. And I hopefully we will take less in the future. I wish there were more left for penguins and whales. But it's amazing. Like if you look at a map of whale migrations, so many of the world's whales in the southern hemisphere, they come from Antarctica and they go to Antarctica to feed on krill. And I love whales, of course.
Your favorite creature is the most important, technically.
You will.
I don't know.
I'm sure you will.
I am a shark lover. If I see a shark, I'm going to be really happy from the rest of my life. Why do you think that it's important to include children and teenagers in this kind of topic?
I mean, I learn a lot from talking to my 7-year-old daughter about this stuff and getting her reactions. I think it would be wonderful to build more of that, like young people and their views into the different international fora and the events that we are all part of, because I think it would be really interesting and challenging, and people would see things through a different state of mind. Like we're all fundamentally children.
I think you have some future plans for 2025. And I want some spoilers about it. So tell me, what are your future plans?
We're working across a lot of different countries to support their ambitions for 30% protection. And I think we have hit like a really good momentum and a good groove. We have a really amazing team at Blue Marine Foundation now. And there's 65 of us or something, and we've focused super hard on bringing technical skill and capacity and finance to marine protected area projects all over the world. It will be really exciting. We have the United Nations Oceans Conference. I think that will provide a lot of incentive and leverage for countries to come forward and to make commitments. Hopefully we'll see some really powerful forward momentum, taking the world past 10% protection forward to, 15 plus, and then we've got a meaningful chance of reaching this target.
And what are your favorite moments of this year? Like those things, those activities, those events that you feel like, I'm really proud.
Well, we worked super closely with the Dominican Republic. We funded a scientific expedition to the south of the island, which involved about 25 different young scientists from around the Caribbean. And we supported the Dominican Republic to create a marine protected area called the Orlando Jorge Mara Marine Sanctuary.
What is that advice, that message that you want to send to the followers, the aquaticos, and the new generation?
Keep doing what you're doing, believe in what you're doing. It's super powerful, even if your community around you don't really understand it yet. You will go very far. The ocean needs you, so yeah, stay strong and keep doing it.
Thank you, and that dream come true.
Take care, and I'll see you again soon, I hope.